All right, let's go over the Unit 9 test and see what you missed. So the first question gives you a little chart, and so all you're doing is matching up each of the parts of a cell with what it does. So its structure and its function. So what makes proteins for the cell? That should be the ribosomes. What controls all cell functions? That is the brain or the nucleus. Collects sunlight? Well, that's something that a plant is going to do. So the only one of these that would only be in a plant cell would be chloroplasts. And then makes energy from glucose. That leaves us with mitochondria. All right, the purpose of the cell wall. The purpose of the cell wall is to provide structure for the cell. I know a lot of groups talked about why there was a cell wall only in plants and not in animals. And we talked about how we have bones to stand up, but plants need that extra structure to help make them stand. The primary function of a chloroplast. Okay, so that again is your plant cell. So convert food into energy a cell can use. Control the functions of the cell and genetic traits. We can cross that one off. Convert radiant energy into chemical energy through photosynthesis. And then store water and nutrients. Well, that is your vacuole. So we can cross off two that we know that have nothing to do with that. So out of these answer choices, the best answer is going to be to convert radiant energy into chemical energy through photosynthesis. It's not necessarily converting the food into energy that the cell can use. Moving on. Which cell organelle stores DNA? Well, it's not the cell wall, it's not the cell membrane, it's not the vacuole, so it is the nucleus. All right, number 5. A mouse has brown fur with white stripes. Where did the genes that produce this fur arise? So let's start by reminding ourselves what genes are. Genes are instructions that come from parents for traits like fur color. Organisms get one gene from the mother and one gene from the father. So let's look at the answer choices. This one says only the mom is giving the genes. Okay, in both of these actually. And this one says only the father is giving the genes. So if I just do process of elimination here, this one tells me that each parent contributed. All right, so chromosomes are just one of many organelles that can be found in a cell. Which statement of the following accurately describes chromosomes? And it says to select two answer choices. So make sure that you are slowing down and you are doing process of elimination for these. So what are chromosomes? Chromosomes are structures that carry genetic information like DNA. So that should eliminate some answer choices right away. So we can cross off the one for photosynthesis. We can cross off the one that says enter and exit. So now we're left with 3 answer choices. So these are pretty much the same, but one of them says prokaryotic and the other one says eukaryotic. So remember, no. If it is prokaryotic, then it does not have a nucleus. So we can cross that one off. And that leaves us with just 2 answer choices, which is the ones that we are looking for. right, number 7. A scientist identifies something as living because it is made of one cell that performs all life processes. Which part of cell theory does this support? So the key phrase here is one cell that performs all life processes. Cell theory says that a cell is the basic unit and structure and function in all living things. If a single cell can do everything needed to be alive, then that proves the idea. So, cells aren't only found in animals, because we know that they're also found in plants. If it's living things, then it's not non-living material. And then, so now we're down to 2. All living things are made up of more than one type of cell. And then cells are the basic unit and structure or function. Well, we know that it's not just one, because we know we have unicellular and multicellular. So our best answer choice is this last one. All right, number 8. According to cell theory, what do all organisms have in common? So this question is asking for something that is true for all living things, not just plants or animals. So we know that not everything photosynthesizes. We do not. We know that not everything is made up of the same kind of atoms. And even if we did not know that what spontaneous generation is, we could cross that off. So cells are the basic unit and structure for each organism. So you're going to notice a pattern in these questions. They aren't trying to trick you with hard words. They're testing whether you know what each cell part does, you understand that traits are inherited, and you can connect examples back to cell theory. So if you're ever unsure, slow down, highlight or underline key phrases, and eliminate answers don't match. So like this last one, spontaneous generation. We've never talked about that in class, so it's a pretty good chance that that is not the answer. All right. Don't forget to tell your teacher that you are ready to take your retest.